Hello. Okay, for the last few weeks, I've been feeling this message like, at first I felt like the Holy Spirit said this to me, and then I was thinking about it. It's just been on my mind. And then a few days ago, I was sitting where I am now, just thinking about it, and then I got up to walk back to my house and I just let it go and stopped thinking about it. But then, as I was walking back, I was stopped in my tracks because it was like the holy light came down from heaven, or it felt like in the spirit, like the portal opened from heaven and the Holy Spirit shone down and said, like it felt like it said it strongly, like it said, the abomination of desolation is about to stand in the holy place. So it stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, whoa. It was just very clear. So, I'm going to share the message then. Okay. So Matthew 24, we see wars and rumours of wars. Nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, famines, pestilences, earthquakes. All these are the beginning of sorrows, or correct translation is beginning of birth pains. They shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So this is what the end looks like. So all those things I just read to you, from my perspective, I believe that we have been seeing those things. All those things have been happening. Then the end shall come. When you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. So let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. That's a picture of the day of the Lord. Luke 17:30. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. In that day he which shall be upon the housetop, and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away, and he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. So in the day when the Son of Man is revealed, in that day, that's what it will look like, that's what will happen. So Mark 13 says the same. Nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, earthquakes in divers places, famines, troubles, all these are the beginning of sorrows, or correct translations, beginning of birth pains. And then it leads up to, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. But when ye shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing where it ought not, let him that readeth understand. Then let them that be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him that is on the housetop not go down into the house, neither enter therein to take anything out of his house. And let him that is in the field not turn back again to take up his garment. So Matthew and Mark, they show us the order of events is beginning of birth pains, which lead up to the end. The end shall then come. Then the abomination of desolation stands in the holy place. Then the picture of the day of the Lord. And Luke says the same. Luke 21. All those signs, all those beginning of birth pains, all those things. 21:19. In your patience possess ye your souls. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies. So we have been seeing Jerusalem compassed with armies. We will likely continue to see that. It might get worse. Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. So the Lord said the desolation thereof is nigh is the abomination of desolation that stands in the holy place, written by Matthew and Mark. Then let them which are in Judea flee into the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter into the picture of the day of the Lord. So all three Gospels are telling us that the birth pains come, then the end shall come, and then the abomination of desolation stands in the holy place, then the picture of the day of the Lord. So 2 Thessalonians says the same thing. It says in the Interlinear Bible, the way that the second part of 2 Thessalonians is worded doesn't give me the impression that God's people are taken out or taken away before this happens. There's something restraining, but that might mean, or that could be, that that's God's hand restraining back these particular events from happening until their appointed time. So in the 2 Thessalonians it says, let no man deceive you, or do not deceive any man, for the day of the Lord, when he comes and gathers us to him, shall not come, except there come the apostasy first, and that the son of the ruin, the man of the sin, be revealed, who opposes and exalts himself above every being called God or thing worshipped. So as for God, sits in the temple of God, declaring himself that he is God. My understanding of that is the abomination of desolation that stands in the holy place. So 2 Thessalonians says, let no man deceive you, or do not deceive any man, for the day of the Lord, when he comes and gathers us to him, shall not come, except apostasy, the falling away, comes first. The world is falling away from the faith. It is a great falling away that is happening. It's been happening. And that the son of the ruin, the man of the sin, be revealed, who opposes and exalts himself above every being called God, and so on. My understanding is that's the abomination of desolation that stands in the holy place. So those three Gospels, in 2 Thessalonians, his word tells us that these are the signs just before he comes. And he says, when you see all these things happening, know that it is near, even at the doors. And we are seeing those things happening, we know it's near. And that when the end comes, we will see, the word says that we see the abomination of desolation stand in the holy place, then the picture of the day of the Lord. So I feel like the Holy Spirit has been saying that the abomination of desolation is about to stand in the holy place. My understanding is that the Antichrist is about to be revealed. People have been saying, his people have been saying, why has the Lord not come yet? We don't understand why the Lord hasn't come yet. He says, this is what my word says, my children. He's encouraging us. I'm about to come. This is all about to happen. Luke 17:22. And he said unto the disciples, the days will come when ye shall desire to see one of the days of the Son of Man, and ye shall not see it. And they shall say to you, see here or see there, go not after them, nor follow them. For as the lightning that lighteth out of the one part under heaven shineth unto the other part under heaven, so shall also the Son of Man be in his day. So they are saying that they are saying, see here or see there. The Lord is saying, the days will come when you will desire to see one of the days of the Son of Man, and we shall not see it. And they shall say to you, see here or see there, go not after them. So they are saying, look, the Christ is here, the Christ is there, go not after them. Matthew 24:23. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. So that's what it means when say, see here or see there, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For they shall arise false Christs, could mean a false Christ, and false prophets, or a false prophet, I'm not sure, but might mean that. And shall show great signs and wonders, and so much, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So why they are saying Christ is here or Christ is there, the elect is still here at that time. So that could be an indication that the Antichrist has come onto the scene, and they're saying, look, the Christ is here, the Christ is there, while the elect are still here. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they say unto you, behold, he is in this desert, go not forth, behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So this is happening while the elect are still here. Mark 13:21. And then if any man shall say to you, lo, here is Christ, or lo, he is there, believe him not. For false Christs and false prophets shall rise and shall show signs and wonders, and to seduce, if it were possible, or I think the correct translation is if it were strong or mighty, I think. I have to double check. If it were possible, even the elect. So Christ is here, see there, the elect are still here when they're saying that. So indication that the Antichrist has been revealed just before the Lord comes. Okay, so we see, back to Matthew 24, we see beginning of birth pains, then the end shall come, the abomination of desolation stands in the holy place, then the picture of the day of the Lord. After that it says, and woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. And Luke says, because there is great distress or wrath upon these people. But pray ye that your flight be not on the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. So that's a mystery. Talk about that another time. Then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. Then it goes on to say, if any man shall say to you, lo, here is Christ there, or believe it not. If it was strong enough, if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. So, so the Lord, I think, is saying that, pray ye that your flight be not the winter, neither on a Sabbath day. So, for then shall be great tribulation. So the Lord is saying that the greatest tribulation the Lord has ever known begins in winter time. And except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. And then it goes on to say, further down, immediately after the tribulation of those days, so immediately after all those things, the birth pains, the abomination of desolation stands in a holy place, and they say, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe. Immediately after all those things, immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun be darkened, the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. 6th seal. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. This is when they hide in the caves and say, rocks fall on us, because they see him coming. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So the Lord comes, so all the birth pains are leading up to the 6th seal, and the Lord comes at the 6th seal, and he shortens the days for the elect at the 6th seal. This is when he gathers the elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So remember, except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. Mark 13:24. But in those days after that tribulation, the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And then shall he send his angels, and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of the earth to the uttermost part of heaven. Comes at 6th seal and shortens the days, or gathers the elect from the four winds at that time. Isaiah 12:9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sins thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light, the sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. 6th seal. Luke 21:25. And there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, and the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the cloud with power and great glory. So this is the 6th seal. Luke is talking about a 6th seal. It's worded a bit different, but it's talking about a 6th seal. A few days ago, the Lord just popped that bit into my head, and he said 6th seal. Like he's talking about a 6th seal. Sign of the sun, the moon, and stars is about the 6th seal. So, and it follows the same order of events. So he's referring the signs of the sun and the moon and the stars, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. This is to do with the 6th seal. So like when the Lord says there'll be signs in the sun, the moon, and stars, like this when Luke says that the Lord said that is a direct connection to saying that's a picture of the 6th seal. Try not to misinterpret what that means by like following the stars or following comets, like names that man has given the stars or the comets, or of the fallen angels, the names that they have given them, and certain names of stars joining close to another name of a star, as signs that the Son of Man is coming. That's not what he means, and we might have maybe be careful about like maybe not to look at like the star signs and the name of the star signs and following them as the signs. This is a direct connection to this is a reference to the sixth seal, the sign and the sun and the moon and the stars. So that's what he means by that when he says that. It's to do with the sixth seal. And the sixth seal, Revelation 6:12, and I behold, when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken off a mighty wind. So that is the sign and the sun and the moon and the stars. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it was rolled together, and every mountain island were moved out of their places, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bound man, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So his wrath has come at this point. And after these things I saw 4 angels stand on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, till we have sealed the servants of our God on their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. So remember back in Matthew and Mark when it painted the picture of the 6th seal, then the Lord sent out his angels to the 4 corners of the winds to gather his elect. Now this is the 6th seal, and at that time, or just after that time, after these things, he saw 4 angels stand on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth. So and that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. So it's the same thing. So that's why I think when it says the elect, it's referring to when the Lord sends his angels to gather the elect from the 4 winds. It's a direct reference to the 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds back. Going to seal they're called the first fruits, the 12 tribes, 144,000. So that's what there's a direct connection there, and I won't get into all of that again. And then following the 6th seal, the 7th seal was then opened, the first trumpet sounded, beginning the judgments upon the earth, and this is when the hour of temptation is come upon the world. This is when the Antichrist is ruling in his fullest power over all the nations, 42 months, 1,260 days. The woman in the wilderness, 1,260 days, and the 2 witnesses, 1,260 days. And so the hour of temptation comes during the trumpets. So because the Lord is saying that the abomination of desolation is about to stand in the holy place, that means that the day of the Lord is about to come. The 6th seal is about to be fulfilled, and all the signs in the sun and moon and stars, and we'll see the Son of Man coming in the clouds, and he will gather his elect from the 4 winds. That means that because that has not quite happened, that means the trumpets they're just about to begin. The judgments upon this world, the hour of temptation is just about to come upon the world. So we are seeing the whole setup, everything, that the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. Everything is already happening, it's already setting up. The enemy is trying to get ahead in his plans to set the whole stage up for the Antichrist to come in and rule over in this new system. And this is when great persecution will come upon the world, and this is when those who were not ready for when the Lord came and when he gathered or sealed his elect, those that were not ready, because remember he keeps the people from the hour of temptation, so those who are not ready will go through the hour of temptation to test their hearts, and many have already chosen their decision, but those who haven't will be brought to the test, to truly test their hearts, and all those that overcome and choose the Lord in their heart will conquer this whole world in the spirit. And my understanding of that is, like, I know I see through a glass dimly, but just from what I understand and what I feel like maybe the Lord has guided me to, or helped me to understand, is that that by the 7th trumpet the mystery of God is finished, the mystery of God is fulfilled. All God's people that now overcame the hour of temptation will all be up in heaven. So the hour of temptation could be finished at the 7th trumpet. All God's people have been fulfilled, they're all in heaven. So those who were protected from the hour of temptation and those who overcame the hour of temptation have now been fulfilled by the 7th trumpet. The mystery of God has been finished. It was fulfilled. And so as a marker, the during the trumpets, the two witnesses are killed, or the woman's protection ends at 1,260 day mark, and that's just before the 7th trumpet, so that could mean that there's a bit more time to the 7th trumpet, which could be the 1,335th day. So that's just some thoughts, but I don't know, just thinking, sharing that. And so that means, and then it talks about the bowls or the vials being poured out on those that receive the mark, worship the beast, or and he destroys Babylon. So all of those that chose the wickedness of the world, who have made it to that point, will receive those judgments. So maybe the bowls, the vials are just for the wicked. And then at the end of all of his judgments, he comes back again with the saints and his army in the clouds, and he destroys the last of the wicked. And so the Lord wants people to understand these things so that they can be encouraged and know that he is coming, and that this is what his word says, and these are all the signs that we will see just before he comes. And he wants us to understand that the birth pains all lead up to the 6th seal, when he comes and collects his elect. So in relation to the Revelation 12, we see a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet. She has 12 stars above her head, and this represents the 12 angels of the 12 tribes of Israel, so the 144,000 that are here during this time. And they are crying in pains to be delivered. They're travailing in birth pains, and these birth pains lead up all the way up to the 6th seal, because this is when the third of the stars fall. The devil is cast out to the earth, and he knows he has a short time, which is the hour of temptation, 1,260 days, or 42 months. And so she is delivered. The birth pains lead up to when she is delivered at the 6th seal, and she gives birth to her child, and her child is caught up to God and to his throne. So however that may look, if that means that the Lord comes and gathers his elect, which could be the first fruits of 12 tribes from the four winds, at the 6th seal, he takes them up to heaven, and then they're given 2 wings of a great eagle, where they fly into their place prepared in the wilderness 1,260 days to fulfill their purpose, whatever their purpose may be. Then it might look like that, it might not, but yeah, so that's what I'll talk about for now. Anyway, that is what I'm hearing, or that's what I'm understanding, and this message felt quite important because I have been attacked for it a number of times. And he just wants to encourage people and say, this is what my word says, my precious children, I am coming. When you see all these things, know that he is near, even at the doors. It is near, even at the doors. See ya. Bye.